Hello, my crumb dumpsters. It's me, Phoebe Cakes. I am joined here with
Angel Food Cake.
So we are doing our year-end review of 2024 films that we watched. I know it's a couple of weeks late. I caught the cold. That's why I'm a little Rasputin.
Little Rasputin.
Rasputin. So I'm a little raspy. I'm still on the mend. So if I sound a little different, that's why. And it's not what you think it is. It's because I caught a cold. Okay. So let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about our 5 favorite films of 2024. I have my own list.
I also have my own list.
So we have our own list. We did not share a list with each other. So we're going to gag each other with like what we thought were the best 5 movies. I want to give a little purview or a little overview of my rubric. This list of 5 is not a list of what I think are the 5 best movies or the best made movies. That's not how I assembled my list. These are just like my favorites. And there's some overlap of like, you know, cinema making or like filmmaking that I think why it's a good film also makes it one of my favorite films. But sometimes I just like what I like. And that's also kind of guiding what I use to assemble this list. Is there anything you need to tell the viewers?
Pretty much the same. I'm going based on what I liked and how much enjoyment I had seeing these movies in the theaters or out. I think we saw most of these in the theaters. And you know, kind of divorcing that away from, like, I feel like there were quite a few movies, especially towards the end of the year, that had a lot of buzz going into it, and then we're kind of like, letdowns.
Yeah, so I have a list of my 5 favorites. I also have a list of
your 5
honorable
boots,
mentions,
and then your dishonorables,
and then I also have a list of disappointments. Okay. And then we'll also just like go through all the movies we saw, and then just like say thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, or whatever. Okay. Let's do it. So we'll just go back and forth. Okay. I'll name a movie, and then if it's on your list, you can talk about it too. Okay. My first movie, in no order, is Wicked. Is that on your list?
That's on my list.
Okay, it's on our list. Why is it on your list, Angel?
It was just like very fun. You know, it was very movie. It was big cinema, raking me in. But just like, it's not like it was one of the like most technically fascinating things that's happened this side of the 21st century. But
go ahead.
I think that like everything gelled, everything came together, especially the performances by the actors.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to diverge from you a little bit, even though we agree that it's a great movie. One of my favorite films. I want to say it first because, like, obviously we already made 2 videos about Wicked, so I don't want to talk about it ad nauseum. But I will say all the cinema girlies on YouTube that we watch and enjoy, I'm pretty sure Wicked's not going to be on the top of the list because they're a little bit of a snob. And I want to, like, address some of the snobbery. What I think John Chu did was actually a technical feat. I think there's a lot of artistry there too, like all the people that kind of worked on the film, especially the couturiers and the design of it all, and you know the set design and all that. But like John Chu did like this like grand musical masterpiece, and it's really hard to pull off a musical. You know, like musicals always have the potential to, you know, get attention and do well, but they almost never do because I think it's actually really hard and like a lost art to do a movie musical. So it's just like what John Chu did was like he made a blockbuster, a banger. You know?
Yeah.
Like the girlies came out for it, and nobody's gonna go and be like, oh, Gene Kelly wasn't a real director. It's like, bitch, you know, American in Paris, like this is gonna go down as one of the best movie musicals of all time. That's why I made it on my list.
It's the movie of the year. I think that's not controversial to say. It is the movie of the year.
Yeah.
But like, you know, pushing back a little bit, like I think about the last kind of big movie musical we saw was West Side Story, Steven Spielberg.
That was artistic. That was beautiful.
You know, it was artistic and beautiful and like a technical feat in a way that I don't think Wicked quite was, because when we talked about Wicked before, you like cut me off and were like, shut up. No, the color grading was fine. The backlighting was fine. I loved it. But for me, colorblind, I can't see shit. Like who's who? I can't see anything.
Okay, this is gonna make it onto our Patreon because we're going on a little too long. But I will say, John Chu is a student of Spielberg. Spielberg plucked him from being a young director and produced a lot of his films. You know. Okay, whatever. Okay, moving on. You go next.
My next movie on my list was Problemista.
Okay, that's also on my list. Oh my God. It made my list because I think it was just like such a great film that tackled, this story of someone trying to get citizenship or what was it, a green card citizenship?
Like a worker's visa.
Obviously, like I
whatever.
learned a whole lot.
Yeah.
But in this like singularly hilarious way, I think Julio Torres is just like has such an idiosyncratic singular voice in Hollywood. I mean, I don't know. It's just it needed a little more attention. I mean, it had Tilda Swinton. It made all like the movie circuits. People kind of stopped talking about it immediately, but it made my list because like it's still one of the movies of the year that met my expectations and exceeded it.
Yeah. I loved it. I've been a huge fan of Julio Torres since I like first discovered him like years ago when I only knew him as like a stand-up comic. But everything he's done, it's just always so wacky and interesting. And what's special about this is like it's queer cinema, and it's very like it's dripping in its queerness. And it also shows us that like queer cinema can be good.
Queer cinema can be good. Like indie queer cinema actually can be enjoyable and
be
funny. Good. I laughed out loud. It's very hard for me to go to a movie and it'd be billed as like a comedy, and then I actually like laugh with my full body. And when I do it, everybody's gonna know, and everybody knew. Yeah, everybody knew I was having a good time.
Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch Problemista.
Yes, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Okay, you next.
All right, me next. I put The Beast.
Ooh, okay. So,
is that on your list?
It's I was going back and forth. It's not on my list.
Okay. It went on my list because it's such a weird movie. It's a diptych, really, but really a triptych because like there's a framing story that frames two epics. It's kind of a weird movie to describe. I didn't even know how to fucking describe it.
I forgot it, but I thought it was a dream.
Yeah, it was a dream. Like, did we dream that? Did we dream or did we actually watch that movie? Okay, first of all, it has like this like hot twink that kind of looks like the twink from Baby Girl, but it's not. It's like a different.
It's not.
It's a different English twink.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's different. Different twink. Okay, so already twink, you got me. Oh, then it also has Leia Seydoux.
Leia Seydoux.
Oh, my God. Sickening. Queen. She's queen. She queens throughout the whole movie. She's so kind of like interesting and just very like subtle as an actress, but she can like pull off just the bigness of the role. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like really a weird movie. And it's like, it's sci-fi, but it's also like a period piece, but it's also like an incel melodrama. It's so freaking weird. I mean, go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Very cool movie. Leia Seydoux is incredible in it. Like how Problemista showed us that queer cinema can be good, actually. The Beast also showed us that French people actually also can make good movies.
Despite Emilia Perez.
It all.
French people can make good movies.
And Leia Seydoux was also central to what I thought was the best part of Dune 2.
Dune 2. Did that make your list?
No.
Oh, okay. It didn't make my list either, but she's great in Dune 2.
The Harkonnen, the Gidi Prime segment of Dune 2 could make it on my list. Yeah. Just that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So there's something on your list that's not on my list. I want to know what it is.
Well, let me maybe the thing that's not on your list, maybe it is. But the thing that bumped out the Beast for me,
what was it?
Was Conclave.
Okay, that's not on my list.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Why is that on your list?
I just loved it. It's really the kind of thing that I really love, where it is just kind of like a quiet movie, set in the Vatican. I love Italy, and it's just kind of about people walking around side-eyeing each other.
It's really intense. It's really gripping, but it's like such like a quiet film. Like, I don't know.
It's like a quiet film.
Quiet film.
Well, it's also like silly. Like
it's very silly.
It was described to me as like an airport book. I think it's based on like it's based on a book, and okay, it's like an airport.
It reads
book,
like that, but it's like better than an airport movie. An airport book is different from an airport movie.
It's short of soapy, but it is just like it's got these twists and turns that are like okay, like all right.
No, but
it's fun.
It's fun. We're not gonna spoil it, but we have a video on it. If you want to know more about our thoughts on Conclave, go ahead.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay, cool.
So,
great.
Yeah.
All right, so I have two more on my list. You have two more on your list.
And I think they're probably going to be the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put Challengers.
Obviously.
Okay, so let's talk about Challengers because the last one I don't think are going to be the same.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay, great. So, I mean, I don't know. We also have a video on Challengers.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it was just like it was one of those movies where it's just like so well technically made, so interesting. Mid-budget banger, kind of a surprise sleeper hit. People weren't expecting for it to be as like fun and good as it was, but I also left the film thinking about it so much. I made it my entire personality for like 6 months. The only thing to bump it out was Wicked.
I was gonna say Wicked. I think is undisputedly like the movie of 2024, but Challengers was like the movie of like the first half of 2024.
Oh, yes.
It was like our entire
Absolutely.
personality for months.
Honestly, once daylight saving like comes back or whatever, or is like light again, is it ending or coming back? I forget.
It is coming back.
Once daylight saving comes back, baby, best believe it's gonna be my Challengers era again. I'm just waiting for that sun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the big reveal.
Yeah.
There's something we disagree on. What is your
The last one on my list was The Substance.
Ooh, okay. Tell us why, baby.
I was also torn about putting this one on my list because as much as I really enjoyed the movie and specifically it's really kicked off a stannery with Demi Moore for me.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her in Ghost, obviously, which I just watched this year for the first time. But I have this like newfound, like I am like a number one Demi stan now. But what I really loved about it was just like the way it was made was so stylistic and fun. So I loved it, even though it almost like made me faint and have to leave the theater when I was watching it. So I think that everyone loves it for a reason, even if they had to throw up while watching it. It just is like just another really fun movie. Again, the French can be good.
The French can be good. I love female directors, first of all. I just want to put that out there. I love female directors. I love the movie too. It was slightly bumped out, okay? But I will say it's just like it's one of those movies that I couldn't stop thinking about, couldn't stop talking about. I do feel like it's one of those films where it's just like it's not as smart as some pseudo-intellectuals might think it is. Like, oh, it's so smart. Da, da, da. It's like there's holes in the movie. We're not going to dig too deep into them. But they so effectively kind of like treat kind of like the premise of the movie and the themes of the movie so well. And through kind of like smart filmmaking, like visceral filmmaking. And it's just like and the performances in are sickening. It's just like such a sleek, cool, weird, gross film. It just like hits all parts of your palate, It's like a...
It was like the latter half of this year was all about the joint slay movies.
Oh yeah,
it was like Cynthia and Ariana and Demi and Margaret.
Yes,
were just like
joint slay girlies. Yeah. All right.
What was yours?
It was Smile 2, bitch.
Okay.
I love Smile 2. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I love Smile 2. First of all, I think horror movies need a little more prestige. We need to honor them. We need to respect them. Thank God Demi Moore won the Golden Globe for it. Maybe she's going to win the Oscar. I really do feel like there's a campaign now where it's like actually might happen. And maybe it'll be like retroactive kind of, validation for other people that should have been nominated or won, an Oscar. Toni Collette in Hereditary obviously goes, pops into mind. But I love Smile 2 because I think horror movies are best when, the allegory or the metaphor is like really clear and effectively kind of like communicated. And I think Smile 1 did that. I think it was like a really solid horror movie, but I didn't like love it. I didn't love all the performances. I didn't think the scary was scary. I didn't think it was like super entertaining the whole time. But I really liked that. Okay, so the metaphor is that, trauma is transmissible. So like you can pass trauma onto other people, and here it's kind of literalized by like this trauma monster that feeds on your own trauma, and it's like a metaphor for like trauma that you don't kind of like process or metabolize in a healthy way. And then here we kind of like implant this like very same metaphor into like a pop star, and it's like somewhat of a musical, but it's also just like so histrionic and so weird, but it's also just like the most effective kind of treatment that I could have imagined for that movie. It's like there's the trauma of like addiction and the trauma of like celebrity, and there's the trauma of like actual, violence because she was in this car crash, and there's all these like, and they all kind of like go palimpsest right on top of each other. And the metaphor for that is this like monster that she has to wrestle with, and like she's being gaslit by the rest of the world because nobody else can see what she sees, and Naomi Scott, Sky Riley, she pulls it off. I think like she's that girl. Like the songs are bangers. I loved what she did with the role. I bought into it the whole time, and it was also just like a fun movie. So that's on my list.
Lovely songs, beautiful songs.
Lovely, beautiful songs. Okay, I'm gonna tear through my honorable mentions. Substance was my honorable mention. Honora. I think it met my expectations. It was really fun. We actually hit a bunch of like snoozers, or not even snoozers, like disappointments. Like Baby Girl wasn't as good as I thought I wanted to be.
Not as good as
Nosferatu wasn't as good as I wanted to be.
Pretty good, but
it was good, but it wasn't like as good. Honorable mention: Alien Romulus. I really like that one.
Honorable mention: Love Lies Bleeding.
Love Lies Bleeding, obviously. Love Lies Bleeding. I saw the TV Glue
I also put
but also a little bit of a disappointment. It wasn't a fun movie for me, but it's like the more I sit with it and think about it and see all the other movies that came out this year, it's just like it's a very good.
It stuck with me.
It stuck with me. Other disappointments: Maria, I hated it. Night Bitch.
We already said.
Like I fell asleep, bitch. Yeah.
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2. Oh, Dune Part 2 is good. Yeah. What else did we see?
We saw Civil War.
In the middle, Civil War. Spit them out.
I watched Stress Positions with.
I didn't watch that.
Which also
queer cinema,
queer
not
cinema,
good.
not fun cinema.
Okay.
Furiosa, a
I
Mad
liked
Max
it.
saga. Also good, but not my favorite. Did not top the
Just
original.
Just to read off all the ones we saw.
Long Legs.
I liked it, but also
I
like Boots ending.
Juror number 2.
I liked it, but like very unserious.
Mid.
Clint Eastwood should retire for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but my girly, twink. Nicholas Hoult. Like she's on fire.
Yeah. And Toni Collette, but she's not. She's not
also
getting
on fire.
She's not getting her redemption Oscar for that one. A Real Pain.
I liked it. Also a disappointment though. I thought it was going to be a little better.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
But the acting was great. Kieran Culkin.
Yeah. Mirror, Night Bitch, Baby Girl, Nosferatu.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like we saw a lot of movies. We still need to see The Brutalist. We still need to see
Queer.
We still need to see Emilia Perez. I feel like we have to watch it at some point. I don't know.
And The Room Next Door with Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's
Julianne
next on our list.
Yeah.
So we might do like an updated video or like the rest of the movies or whatever. But some of these, we'll rope it into our Oscar contenders video. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
if you
watching.
like this video, definitely hit the like button and comment and subscribe and share it with your friends and hit that bell icon.
We are actually very close to being qualifying for monetization, which will probably never get monetized because the videos we make will probably get demonetized. But we're very close to reaching that benchmark, and that's something we want to do. So if you do like our video, please like, subscribe, share. These are our patrons. Also consider being a patron. And if you're wondering, it's like, don't these bitches usually do like queer interviews with Bay Area drag people? And that is true. That will come back. But right now it's just like life's hard. It's a full-time job, booking interviews, doing podcasts, and there's so many cool Bay Area podcasts out there. Check out Diva Dudes. Check out
Champagne Room Secrets.
Secrets. Check out SoFpod. Is that what it's called? SoFpod.
Yeah, series of fortunate
events. SoFpod. Check out SoFpod. Sickening Bay Area. We're the Gimlet of the Bay Area. No, we don't like Gimlet anymore.
What? Oh, I was like, the cocktail. I do like a Gimlet, but
we do like a Gimlet.
Anyway,
but I think Gimlet was canceled.
Anyway,
okay, whatever.
We have a gig. We gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.